is an It Came From GenX video.
Okay, and then in 1990 here, guys, on May 21st, the Newhart show came to an end. It ran from 82 to 90.
Yeah.
Wow.
I thought this was one of the most, if not the, arguably, one of the most clever endings to any
It was crazy.
TV
yeah.
show. So if you remember correctly here, the whole series of Newhart, he had Bob Newhart, the Bob Newhart show for years in the 70s. And then he had the Newhart show in the 80s where he had a different wife, and it was not the same character. And they ran that in
Vermont,
Maine or Vermont.
Yeah.
At the end of the episode, you might remember he wakes up and
Bob
he's
Newhart.
on the set of the Bob Newhart show, and the actress that played his wife on the Bob Newhart show woke up in bed. It's all a dream. I was like,
I was great.
Wow.
Nobody saw that coming. Pow.
So good and clever, and that was just very great. And that's how they ended it. It was just a dream. So got us talking off camera here. So and it could be that, it could be on your list as well. Just I'm interested what are your top 3 to 5 series finale episodes? So just the way that they ended the series, that particular episode of all time. So Keith, we can go around if you guys want, or we can give our list individually. Go ahead.
I was so excited about this. I've seen some finales that I just sat there and just felt good about. And I went back in time and remember, when a series finale is so good, it makes you start all over again to just remember where they started from and what they went through. That's what I know it was good. And I'm sorry, I'm gonna go real quick. I got more than 5. I'm gonna tell you a show that I didn't even watch. I caught an episode here and there when it was on the air, but the finale was something I would never forget as long as I live, and that is MASH.
Yes.
That's one of my favorite opening theme songs of all time. But that ending was that last episode was so great, so deep, and that very last ending, so emotional. The goodbye written in stones. Man, that was absolutely phenomenal.
Well, the highest rated TV shows, period.
Yeah, without question.
That finale.
One of my favorite shows of all time, Cheers. That finale was something. I'm in the process of finishing Cheers again because I was really young when that happened. I want to have a better understanding now. Of course, Star Trek: The Next Generation, all good things. 2-part finale. Man, how Picard had to fight for humanity again, like he did in the first episode with Q. You saw the relationship of Worf and Deanna Troy, and then you saw them come together at the end playing poker. Man, watch Picard, the end of Picard to blow you away. It goes back to that. And of course, let's go a little recent, not too far. The end of the Big Bang Theory, I thought was just absolutely emotional. It had me in tears. Love that show. I watch it over and over again. I watch it every day when I'm on my iPad, when I'm doing dishes or cooking. Just a great one. One of the greatest shows I've ever seen in my life, hands down. I didn't catch it till a little bit ago on Netflix or whatever, but Spartacus. If you haven't seen Spartacus, oh man, you've never seen nothing like this. I promise you've never seen anything like this. And the way that ended was just like, wow. This was you'll sit back, you'll be out of breath, you'll just be dumbfounded. This was utterly one of the greatest things ever put on television. Got to mention the Fresh Prince of Bel-Air. That was an awesome episode. Watching Will walk off out of the house, turning the lights off. Everybody going their own way. That was so emotional. I love that one. And of course, Seinfeld. One of them standing trial, all the characters from years back showing up, talking about their indifference and all the things that they done. That was hilarious. And then seeing them going to jail together. I thought that was absolutely great. And of course, one of my favorite comedies, if not my favorite comedy series of all time, The Office. Absolutely loved that. But they called everybody back to sit on a seminar to talk about being filmed for all those years. They thought nobody was coming. One of them went out in the hallway and the line was up the block, and it was just so really, really awesome. So those are my favorites real quick.
Very good. Skinner?
Yeah, he mentioned MASH. He mentioned Star Trek Next Generation. I've got Cheers on my list as well. That show was one of my favorite shows up until Seinfeld, which is also number 2 on my list. I have MASH as number 1. Seinfeld ended in a 2-part episode, and it was just phenomenal. Jerry and George's pilot finally gets picked up by NBC. They board a private plane to go out to, I think, LA for that, and they're going overseas landing, and they end up breaking the law, a local law, and get put in jail. And just the way the show was crazy fun, but the way they ended it was even better.
Yeah.
I also have, like I said, Cheers was one of the best shows I think NBC's ever had.
Yeah.
You put Cheers number 1, you could put Seinfeld number 2, you can flip-flop them. But with Cheers came with Frasier. You guys talked about Frasier, an episode that I was not on. Frasier, I'll watch that show every time. If it's on, I can't stop watching it. It's just so clever. His character, both on Cheers and in the show, is just phenomenal. So for those are mine. So I got MASH, Seinfeld, Star Trek Next Generation. Then I have Cheers, and then Frasier, my top 5.
Interesting point. I thought Frasier Crane on Cheers was a phenomenal, hilarious character. He's like a completely different person on the Frasier show to me.
Well, the dynamic was different with the people and the cast on Frasier. That was a very dry humor. On Cheers was a lot different than the humor with
a little more slapstick.
Yeah. But when you had the dry humor with his brother and his dad, it was just a different dynamic.
Yeah.
Same character, just different dynamic.
I'm losing control, Keith.
Huh?
Uh-oh.
I'm losing control, Keith.
Uh-oh.
I'm kidding. No, so we've all said the same. I'm going to repeat a lot of these here too. MASH, like I say, just super powerful. Like you said, the scene when Hawkeye flipping a helicopter and he wrote out goodbye. That was very moving and touching, and that was just the friendship of 2 men coming to an end like that so abruptly. Newhart, obviously, that's on my list as well. I thought that was so clever. Cheers, you guys already talked about that a lot. Sam comes back, goes off with Diane, decides, no, that's not what he loves. He loves the bar. He comes back to the bar. That's his true love. So that's where Sam ends there. And like I said, Seinfeld did a lot of interesting twists and turns. They definitely had you guessing on that one, all the way to the end where they just, they made it clear that these characters are selfish people. They're only out for themselves, and that's exactly what is their undoing in the jail cell, and they still don't really get the fact that they're in jail at the end of the episode. They're still thinking about themselves, and that's it. So
how about the memorable people, the librarian, the library cop, the low talker, all these Babu Bot, all these different characters from over the season. It was great.
Jackie Childs, that.
Awesome.
Very, very good stuff. Probably a lot more, but those definitely come. And all those episodes, just they tied up the story nicely. They were well thought out, and they had the opportunity. Obviously, they had a planned ending, and not many shows get that either, of course. But all these shows had an opportunity to wrap things up. And all those did it very nicely in their own way. Hey, Fish here from ItCameFromGenX with Skinner and Keith. For every like and subscribe, you may win a free 1-year subscription to the AARP.